Today, we're going to be watching The View.
Why?
Because I love The View. The View is so good. The View is the id of the Democrat voting women of America, and it's such a perfect echo chamber that you get to hear and see things you just wouldn't have elsewhere. It requires a certain level of presupposition going into it from the participants that really gets to the meat of the true beliefs that they have underneath it. I absolutely love it. Do you ever watch it?
No.
Why not? You're missing out.
I'm neither a woman nor a gay man.
Yeah, but
So which are you?
I'm a hate watcher.
Okay.
So, gay man.
Yeah. all right.
No, gay men would enjoy this.
Would they?
Oh yeah,
Would they actually? Gay men hate women.
I thought gay men are supposed
Well-
to love women.
yeah.
Why don't they fuck them?
Well, no.
That's what I'm saying.
Great question,
Like a
Cal.
comic.
Great question. But yeah, no, I do understand. I do like The View because I like it when you get people in their own comfortable space to just, all of the guards have come down and they just flood out all of the things they think. And so I've got a series of clips that they put on their YouTube channels, and as you see, they're timestamped. So we're just going to watch a minute or so of discussion, should we call it, and then we'll talk about it. So the first one is, what issues will get voters to the polls?
Such a good mood today, and I hate to raise this point, but I have to. We've got to ring some alarm bells. The election's 7 months out. I don't trust polling. I do agree with that. I think you can take it on aggregate, and if the polls on aggregate are to be believed, Donald Trump very well may be president in 7 months. And here's what I fear. My initial thought was him being on trial and in a courtroom and not on the campaign trail was going to hurt him. I'm starting to think that it doesn't in the same way because he's not out there saying crazy things. He's not saying immigrants are poisoning our blood. He's actually has to kind of sit there silently with his hands folded. So what the media, or what people are seeing when they turn on the media, not that crazy timepiece we read yesterday about all the horrifying things he's going to do in a second term. They see violence and they see protests on college campuses. They see young people calling Joe Biden Genocide Joe, and it scares people, whether it's you're from a law and order perspective, whether you're on the fence about Biden. I think there's a real reality right now that Joe Biden could pick up swing voters. He could pick up moderate Republicans and suburban
And why are you in a good
women.
mood again?
But
What was the
listen,
reason she
That's
said-
not why she's in a
Listen.
mood.
Oh.
He could pick up all the demographics you generally need, but lose young progressives and lose the election to Donald Trump. That's where we are
But
right
what?
now.
You said you were in a good mood.
No, and I said, I'm sorry.
So I love it. You said you were in a good mood. She's pointing out, look, no, we're Biden supporting Democrats. That's what this show is. And so she's like, I'm having a good day, but here are all of these things about reality that might impact the political issues that we concern about. And her first thing is, but you said you were in a good mood.
Yes. Yeah.
What do you guys make of that?
Well, my view of it is that it's astonishing to see that they actually seem to understand political strategy better than many of the Republicans do, because they understand that there is a civil war raging in the Democrat Party between two coalitions which are never going to see eye to eye with one another, and a lot of Republicans seem rather too keen to step in the way of that, rather than letting it unfold and letting the electoral consequences unfold as well.
Yeah, let Genocide Joe get called Genocide Joe by his own supporters.
Yeah.
But no, we need to ban anti-Semitism. That's a rake that we need to jump both feet.
Yeah.
I
Well done, Ron.
is it, okay.
Ron DeSantis, but come on, bro.
I'm going to attack this on purely aesthetic terms because I'm bitchy like that.
You're the gay man.
Connor on The View when?
I'll do a Norm MacDonald. You would think if this was marketed towards like suburban housewife women that they would pick people a bit more aesthetically aspirational because they all look like either waxworks or corpses of themselves. Like Whoopi Goldberg looks like Bob Marley in Turner from his grave. Sonny Hostin for some reason like her hair is disconnecting from her face there.
Yeah, I don't know the names actually, but well done.
I know the name because they keep popping up on my bloody Twitter timeline because Jack Sobiek keeps sharing them, saying that they've said this idiotic thing today.
All right, fair enough.
Like,
The woman who was speaking is reasonably attractive, isn't she?
Yeah.
Don't you think?
That's not a great pause.
Yeah, no.
she looks a bit trans.
No, she doesn't.
She looks like she could eat a
No, she doesn't.
She
And
looks a
look,
bit trans.
the point isn't to critique their looks, right? The point is to,
Isn't it?
No,
Why else are we watching this?
because I want to critique their thoughts, because their thoughts are hilarious. Because this whole segment is very interesting because you can feel there's a kind of looming fear, right? And they, as she said, well, look, I'm in a good mood today, blah, blah, blah. Here's all the stuff that's happening. And then the other one's like, well, you said you were in a good mood. How could you do this? Isn't that interesting, this kind of little bubble that they're trying to live in? Where it's like, okay, look, guys, I know that we all think that Joe Biden's the best thing to slice bread and Trump's the devil incarnate, but I think he might win. I think we might need to be prepared for that. And that's just like, and the first response is, why did you tell us that?
Yeah, you said you gave them credit, and fair enough credit for understanding the demographic dynamics that are playing out within the Democratic Party. But the fact that she's only just now clocked on that Trump's image of himself as a persecuted man might actually be leaning into all of the court cases, might actually be propped up by all of these court cases, and the fact that he's very clearly actually persecuted.
Being persecuted makes him look like a persecuted man.
Yeah, that's not very clever of her to have only
just recognized. And as well, I think as well.
And it was like, what was it? When was that? When was the mugshot released?
That would have been about 9 months ago now.
Yeah,
it's about
quite a while ago.
Yeah, no, it took some time.
The mugshot got released that made all of the ghetto gangbangers look and go, hold up, he might be my guy. and she missed that, apparently.
I think the strategy of the Democrats, and I think this is partly what goes to show that they are just emotionally incontinent about Trump. They really are Trump derangement syndrome. Is that it would have been much cleverer just to throw one legal case around his neck, because then it would have had a sort of a plausibility about it. The fact that he's facing down the barrel of 96 indictments, people just realize that this is politically motivated.
Civil cases as well.
And some civil cases as well. It would have been much more intelligent just to go out, in my view, with the Florida one to do with classified documents, just that, because then it wouldn't have seemed so obviously on the nose persecution. But the fact that it is means that this strategy that she thought would work isn't
The New
working.
York Attorney General trying to bar him from ever being able to do business in New York on pretenses that have made the entire property
Real estate industry.
real estate industry go, well, hang on a
in their
second.
boots, yes.
You can feel the tightening of arseholes there being like, wait.
Yesterday, I did a deal which involved exactly
we
that
all
kind
do
of
this
strategy.
all the time. What are you talking
It's the Andre the Giant meme before. Whoa.
yeah, it really is. And so,
I have two explanations for that, but two ideas about why they've thrown so many. One is they're just throwing any shit at the wall to see what sticks. Two, it might just be the general American love of bigness. If we throw so many lawsuits his way, people will be convinced by the bigness of all of these cases that he is big evil.
I think it is emotional incontinence, though. I think you're bang on that one. I think they're just like, we've just been in the bunker mentality for so long, and now we've got a way of getting the fascists.
It's interesting that you say sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
It's interesting you say that the id of the Democrat Party, because there is this. There are intelligent strategists within the Democrat Party who have sort of been sounding this note for a while. Like someone like David Axelrod, for example.
What's the other guy?
Nate Silver?
No. There's a particular. I can't remember. Sorry, but you are right.
Like, these people realize that it would have been sensible just to go with one, but they also have to appease the base in this way. So there are these both divisions on Israel and Gaza. Obviously, that's a massive division between the younger, more diverse cohort in the party, which is basically regards Israel as a white colonial state and therefore sees no reason to support it. And then you've got people like Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. So you've got an ideological civil war going on, but also a strategic one in the Democratic Party. These older, wiser birds like David Axelrod, I can't think. David Axelrod could never have thought that it would be a good idea to throw 96 indictment in Trump's direction.
Letitia James also probably isn't known for her impulse control, given the fact that didn't she sleep with someone on the payroll, and if you saw her attempt at testimony, even though she's an attorney general meant to be proficient in law, she was just bloviating through the whole thing. So I actually don't think many of them coordinated the scale of these indictments.
Yeah, no, I think that what they've done is spent a lot of time fear-mongering to their base, and they whipped their base up into a state of heightened emotional anxiety, and now this is kind of the dam that's broken, and it's all coming out, and this is the attempt at catharsis that they're trying to get. But this lady, and I think the reason they say, well, hang on a second, I thought you were saying you're having a good day, because what she's doing, she's kind of puncturing that feeling of self-satisfaction and saying, hey guys, I think, by persecuting Trump, we're making him look persecuted. And, all the riots on college campuses and all of the violence and stuff like that is making us look bad. And I think, actually, we might lose this. And they're just like, well, why would you say that? That's giving us all a downer.
Do you think she's the equivalent of The View, are all women telling a story and she's come along with a solution, and they've gone, but you've interrupted us saying things out loud so we feel better about saying it?
A little bit. It's not even that she's got a solution. She's just trying to tell people a bit of bad news. It's like, hey guys, I'm not sure we're correct about this. What do you think?
I think it's just weird looking. I mean, you've got here the most privileged aspect of American society.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's privileged women as well is obviously, another layer of that. But them sitting here as privileged women Democrats who are disconnected from everything, realizing, hang on a minute, maybe nobody's going to vote for that puppet is really what we're looking at. Because, I mean, you can talk about the court cases or anything else, but the reality is the reality, which is Joe Biden's fucked. I mean, just on what aspect can he even campaign anymore? Did you see the conservatives in our country the other day posting the Gordon Brown sold 21 billion pound? What? This is so far removed. I mean, it's just telling you've got nothing to stand on.
I just retweeted it saying, and you're losing to this guy?
Exactly.
You're
So,
that
I mean,
bad.
I see Joe Biden in the same vein, where it's, provided people go out and vote, that's the big slider. But if they do, then Joe Biden loses. I think everyone's aware of this. There was a clip I saw the other day that's beautiful. It's this comedic show, right? So there's comedians talking to the audience, doing crowd work, and he's like, oh, what do you do? And then blah, blah, blah. So you ask one guy, what do you do? He says, I work in the Biden administration. And the whole crowd just bursts out laughing. This is in California, this show.
Yeah.
And they're all just like, oh, you should have kept your mouth shut. We would have had more respect for you.
Yeah, just say you're a delivery driver or something.
Yeah. And they're like, I hate Trump, but shut up, man. And then they ask him, what do you actually do for the Biden administration? Like, do you keep him awake or...
Oh, I'm the social media manager.
Change his nappies.
He says that he tries to sell Biden to the southern states. And they were just like, your job is pointless. So are you ready to be unemployed? Or like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, and again, it's hard to tell as an outsider, but the American system has the same situation with us, where it's very clear that the people in charge have nothing.
Yeah.
They've got nothing to come to you with and advocate that they can do another good job.
Yeah,
So-
all of the ideas are played out, and we have all the answers, and they've got nothing new. Yeah.
And now we're just looking at the very top of that establishment side of society being like, oh, hang on a minute. Like, we've got a bit of a problem.
I think we'll watch a little bit more of this.
First, I will say this image that we have up on screen right now does seem to be a nice microcosm of the Democratic Party in general, which is two probably highly medicated white women laughing through the pain. And between them, a very confused black woman who has no idea what's going on, but she does know that she will be voting Joe Biden.
Oh, she knows. She knows exactly what's going on. Like I said, these aren't stupid people. What it is?
She did admit to voter fraud live on television.
Yeah, but that's because
thick.
Highest IQ Biden voter.
Wondering why the ceiling bird isn't cheaping.
That's thick if there is such a thing as accountability in your world, right? These people will never be held accountable for anything that they say or do on this show.
Sure.
Right? So it doesn't matter to them. So it's not stupid, because what difference it make, right? And that's the key issue. But she knows what's going on. What she's annoyed about here is that this white woman has dared puncture the consensus. No. We all agreed that we're going to win all the time forever because we're great and you're not. And this woman's come along going, hey guys, I don't know. And they're not happy. But we'll watch a little bit more.
I know, I'm sorry to bring the mood down with my take, but I'm very worried.
But what's the good mood about?
That I just happen to be in one.
What do you want, some kind of drug or something?
I know. I thought we were going to get something different.
I was waiting till it's like, come on, bring in the good.
You know, I will.
Look at just the whole thing. Where was the validation? Where was the good news? What my mood?
But that was like peak female bullying as well, wasn't it?
Kind of, yeah.
Now look at
Yeah.
her.
Looks embarrassed. Yeah, that's a good.
Shouldn't have.
I'm sorry for bringing reality
But
into this.
But I think it's also interesting that people will talk these. Well, it might be a bit much to say that they live and breathe politics, but they certainly think of themselves as
They're very politically
engaged, and they don't seem to. There's an sorry.
Sorry, guys.
What was I saying? Personal. Oh yeah, for them, your mood is just going to be inextricably tied to how politics is going that day. Whereas for most people, that isn't the case. So that is expressive of a certain sadness in itself. The fact that Joy Behar couldn't possibly fathom that this woman might be in a good mood that day, independently of her concerns vis-a-vis the election.
It's great. Watch a little bit more, because again, it's just fascinating interactions.
Disagree about the trials. But I would like to start with the fact that I am so shocked that the Republican Party has a nominee who is a former one-term, twice impeached, indicted with 88 criminal charges and found guilty of sexual abuse, liable for sexual abuse.
And tied with Joe Biden.
I'm
Liable.
so shocked that that's all the Republican Party had to offer. But what does give me some hope, it makes me a little bit happy with my legal nerd hat on, is that Americans are more likely than not to say the criminal cases don't positively impact their likelihood to vote for him. 33% of all Americans are much less likely to vote for Trump because of the criminal case. And 2/3 of registered voters, 64%, say Trump's hush money charges are serious. If he's convicted, they will not vote for him. I think that is a bright spot. I think that's important. And I do think that people are paying attention to the fact that he's been fined $9,000 for violating a gag order, that he's just losing it. He's farting up a storm in the courtroom. Everyone's writing about that. He's probably just horrified about that. He's sitting there falling asleep. He's now Sleepy Don. There's no Sleepy Joe anymore. I think there's a lot of good stuff happening.
Right. So the woman on the right, you can see that she's just like, you haven't listened to a word that I've said.
Alice's Adventures in Copeland.
Exactly. This is her. No. I'm reestablishing all of the cherry-picked narrative points that brought me to the feel-good moment. This is not about analysis anymore. This is about self-reassurance.
To tie it into another bit of woman discourse that's been going on recently, the woman on the right has basically said, guys, what if men are less dangerous than bears?
Oh, we'll get to that.
And they've all turned around and said, yeah, but bears are all big and fuzzy.
We will get to the bear stuff.
I think I could be friends with a bear, so I don't agree with you. This hurts my feelings.
We'll get to the bear stuff because, of course, they have a take on that.
Wait, for fuck's sake.
Why did you think they wouldn't?
Yeah,
Like,
you're right.
the man or bear thing was a massively viral meme in the woman community. I'm not even joking. Like, I saw loads of like my normie female friends on Facebook sharing stuff like that.
So, Carl, as a descendant of Africans, could you?
As a Kang.
One thing I just have to notice, because I've had this personal game for a while now, is how white can a woman get and still be black? Because that black woman on the right there,
Yeah,
So I think she's mostly Hispanic.
Yeah, I don't
that's
think
the
she's
thing.
black.
No, but you guys were throwing to her as a black woman.
I did.
Okay.
Oh, well, I
She?
didn't. I don't think she's black.
Okay, I thought we were still playing that game.
No.
She does look like the Lost Jackson brother, but
Yeah,
not
but
quite.
who
Rachel
was it?
Dolezal over there.
Why is Whoopi Goldberg come in wearing rags?
I want to know why she's got the predator hair.
Yeah.
What? She looks
To be
homely.
honest,
She does.
you could pull it off.
She looks like the main character of any video game developed in the last 5 years.
She does, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Who's
and-
got one black woman who's in every video game these days with an enormous bug eye?
You're thinking, yeah, from Jedi Knights Fallen Order.
Yeah, yeah.
And Suicide Squad, she played a Man of Order. Yeah.
I play Total War, man. I don't know.
Oh, fair play. In like every
I
game
don't know.
going back to like Wolfenstein 2, there's this one black woman with enormous bug eyes, and I swear every time, because they use the facial scan technology
Yeah.
to get a face.
Don't even augment it.
I swear every single time that she's in a game, they just like accentuate the bug eyes more and more and more and see if people notice.
It's like Power Girl.
yeah.
But so the next thing I thought was amusing to look at was the lady's response to Biden's State of the Union address a few months ago.
Speaking of men browning their trousers.
Yeah, well,
Did you
no,
see the video of him genuinely stop midway, squat like a toddler, and then Jill just sort of shuffles off, embarrassed?
I didn't. No.
Oh no,
You're not seeing that? We'll get that up for after.
Sorry, Biden actually
Shat himself on
himself.
camera. He literally walks up and he goes,
It's possible. It's a plausible interpretation of what his bowels seem to be doing.
it looks like when like a toddler stares you dead in the eyes, knowing exactly what they're
Yeah,
doing.
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
Oh,
Sort
Jesus.
of.
Let's. As far as I'm aware, Biden doesn't shit himself at the State of the Union. Okay.
He did in front of the Pope.
Trump is going nuts watching.
Guarantees, huh?
I can't guarantee
Promises
anything.
made, promises kept.
Obviously, I can't guarantee anything, but just to the best of my knowledge, all right?
You got a new White House press statement confirming Biden did not shit himself.
It's a Rorschach test.
But ironically, this is actually something that the ladies in this point out and go, haha, checkmate, right wingers.
Is this a new clip?
It is a new clip. Let's watch.
I pictured Trump just going nuts watching it, you know? What do you guys think?
Well, Trump was going nuts on Truth Social watching it. So I have to say,
Did it melt down? Truth Social?
And then it finally came up, and everything he was posting was like, well, I'm not even going to amplify it, but it was crazy. Objectively, good night for Joe Biden. This was the first time that I felt like he could beat Donald Trump in November. Listen, the Trump camp did him a huge favor by setting expectations so low. They put out this ad the morning of that basically is like, he's going to keel over and die. So by not tipping over at the dais, he was already outperforming expectations.
Do you remember that article that said, "Stay alive, Joe Biden, all we need is your corporeal
Yep.
form"?
Yeah. But isn't that just brilliant? It's like, well, expectations were that he would die, and he didn't, and therefore, suck it.
Well, he is vaccinated.
But so we probably not.
Oh, yeah,
But
fair point.
suck it, Republicans. And it's just like, good God. Like, It's being played as a joke, but they genuinely move on from this analysis. Oh, Karen.
Right.
But listen, in the first 3 minutes, he quoted Ronald Reagan and talked about aid to Ukraine. That was a direct olive branch to Nikki Haley voters who are feeling politically homeless and don't know where to go. The border, an extremely strong moment. I am so angry for what Republicans are doing to Senator Langford, a conservative who got the job done, and they're blocking his bill. It's the number one issue for voters, is they care about border security, and Joe Biden was able to articulate, we had a plan for it, and you're blocking
And
it.
didn't Langford nod his head?
And he said, it's
That's true.
How
But
long will he still be in Congress, do you think?
Well, one micro drama I'm keeping my eyes on, watching Mike Johnson, who never expected to be sitting there. I don't think Donald Trump's going to be happy with his performance. He nodded at times, he clapped at times, he even nodded during the conversation about Ukraine aid, which he's blocking.
He stood up. He stood up and clapped, and his
I could
face
see
was
Trump
red
being-
as a
So just look at what they're saying here, right? This is high school girl analysis of people's relationships, right? I mean, anyone who knows anything about the American southern border knows that literally Joe Biden came in, stopped construction of the border wall,
Repealed all of Trump's executive orders.
repealed. Oh yeah, exactly. Repealed all of the executive orders that were designed to reduce the number of flow. And of course, if you were to bring up the data, you would see. I haven't got the data to hand.
He said we need a surge at the border as well.
Yeah, there's going to be a surge at the border, and if you were to bring up the data, as Callum does often on the podcast, because this is the point, massive up spike. But that's not what they're talking about. That's not at all anything to do with anything. It's all about female validation and sort of like, no, Joe Biden's going to be good on the border. It's like, no one believes that.
Mike Johnson nodded once during the speech.
I
going,
did.
Incredible, we're going to win, boys.
Trump's angry on
We're
Truth
so
Social,
back.
you know.
I mean, fuck off.
But it's just quite amazing the way that the discourse plays out, in my opinion. Like, I this is what I find most fascinating. You're looking at me skeptically, what?
I'm wondering if that's just a lot of high-class politics. 'Cause
Maybe.
it's so feminized. The
Maybe.
idea that you're obsessed with relationships rather than reality. I mean, it just seems to be a lot of what politicians are like. So maybe they're correct. I don't know. I'm worried that they're correct.
I mean, maybe, but the average American voter can't possibly be like, yeah, border security. Joe Biden's the guy for that.
No. I mean, in the aspect they're like, oh, he nodded.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I
they
know.
think the personal relationship between the politicians matters more than the reality on the ground.
Well, I'm sure the Valley Girl constituency does think that. But like the average American voter isn't a Valley Girl, and it's gonna be like, well,
Yeah,
obviously.
and they're trying to extrapolate that eyebrow raise or that
Yeah.
applause to November, which is the suspicious move.
I thought they were analyzing it in terms of what will happen in Washington.
No. Well, my understanding is that
possibly
the American
both.
people will be watching this, and they
Yeah,
will,
yeah.
and they said, putting
they
an
think-
olive branch out to Nikki Haley voters as if Nikki Haley voters. Oh yeah, I think I just gathered that little twitch of the eyebrow there. Ergo, Biden.
That would be
It's
retarded.
not
Yeah.
quite.
But yeah, so nothing about like the on the ground situation, nothing about the amount of hassle that it's been for people, nothing about the substantive policy changes and differences between Trump and Biden, but the personal relationships of the people in Congress. They think the voters are watching as intently as they are, and obviously that's not the case.
To watch the full video, please become a premium member at lotuseaters.com.